Okay, here we are with another Everyday English lesson, another lesson here on YouTube. And today we are talking about the future. So, as usual, we have our lessons on Mondays and Fridays. Today is Friday, and on Fridays, we usually have this lesson on YouTube. And on Mondays, we have our lesson on Facebook. And our lessons start at 8 a.m. New York time, Mondays and Fridays. So anybody who is watching and who would like to join, you can go to chrisamericos.com and you can join our live lessons and you can participate. And I see today we have Colleen with us and we have Gigi's shadow. I can almost see Gigi. It's very dark. Oh, there she is. Okay. And Andrew has just joined us. Great. So we have, and Manny is joining us too, I see. She'll get her video on here in a minute. Excellent. So we really have people from all over the world here in our lesson today. And it's a really important lesson. We're speaking about the future. So let's just start by saying hi to everybody. Colleen, hi, how are you in Romania today?
Chris, I'm doing well, thank you. What about you?
Good, good. Everything is good here. I just saw you 2 days ago, so probably not a lot of new things have happened since then. Great. Gigi, what about you? You're still in Holland right now, right?
No, I am
No?
in Brazil.
In
Yes,
Brazil.
it's 7 October. Yes, and the reason I missed the 2 lessons because quite busy. And
Well,
yeah,
we're glad that
and
you're
to
here with us
enjoy.
today.
Yes,
We're
and
happy.
then today I decided, no, today I have to join this lesson. Yes.
Great, great. So is it, how do you feel being back in Brazil compared to being in Holland before?
Yes, do you know, it's my roots,
Mhm.
and I'm happy stay here. But I think I got to use to live in Netherlands, and like I stay here, but I don't. I am think to in my life there. It's quite. I am a tourist here. Yeah,
Okay.
I enjoy the food, enjoy my family, I enjoy the place, and but I think it's longer. Yes, I have been living abroad, and then I think it's the reason. It's half here and half in another country.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we almost have someone from every continent here today. You know, I'm in North America, Gigi's in South America, Colleen is in Europe, Andrew's in Russia, which is like Europe and Asia. We have Manny in Asia, and Aisha's here too. Great, we have people from all over the world. Let's see, Andrew, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good.
Great, great to see you again. And what's new?
Nothing much.
Okay. Yeah, we just don't have anyone from Africa here today. We have someone on almost every continent. We just need Australia and Africa and then Antarctica, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Manny, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you today?
Yeah, could not be better.
Could not be better. Good answer.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great to hear. And Aisha, what about you?
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Great. What's new with you?
Yes, I start this week studying in the university.
Oh, wow.
The semester is started, and the study is online. We haven't to go to the campus, so we
Okay.
study online. And I start to rewrite my proposal for my project. And Yes, and I keep studying English to improve my language.
That's great. That's great. All right. Well, today our topic is mostly about grammar. We're talking about the future, but anyone who's watching, Colleen, Gigi, Manny, Aisha, Andrew, you can write your questions or you can just ask. You can turn on your microphone when you want. And of course, everybody who's watching on YouTube right now, you can write your questions in the comments. So let's get started. When we talk about the future, usually there's three different forms, three different ways that we might talk about this. So first of all, we might use will or won't, right? Will or won't. We might use to be, going to, and we might use present simple, or we might use present continuous to speak about the future. So these are the three different ways that we usually speak about the future. There are other ways too, of course, but when we think about 90% or 95% of the times when we talk about the future, we use these three. Now, usually we just talk about the rules, right? And rules are important. That's why we have grammar, right? Grammar is just the rules of the language. But sometimes it's important to also remember what people understand, right? With English, sometimes sometimes people get confused about this, that there's lots of rules, but you don't need to know all the rules for someone to understand you. And when we speak about the future, this is a really important thing to remember, because if we always say will and we always say won't, people will understand us. Maybe it's not completely correct. Maybe it doesn't sound very natural, but anytime that we want to speak about the future, we can say will and the person will understand us. Right? This is just the easy way to do it. It's not completely correct, but it's easy and people understand. So this is important to remember, because if you just want people to understand you, you can just learn will and stop. Usually, I mean, everyone who's here today at our lesson wants to learn more than that, but for everyone who's watching, it doesn't have to be so difficult. It can be very easy. Okay. So let's talk about the correct way to use will and won't first. So there's really just three reasons why we use four main reasons why we use will and won't. The first one is to make predictions. And a prediction is when we just talk about what we think will happen in the future, right? We think something will happen in the future, and this is a prediction. Maybe you know the name Nostradamus. Maybe you have heard this name before, Nostradamus. Nostradamus is famous for making predictions, for saying that something will happen in the future, and then it happened, right? Maybe it didn't always happen, but he's famous for this. So this is a prediction. So for example, we might say, in the year 2020, the world will end. This is a prediction, right? Let's hope that it's not true. This is a prediction. We think that something will happen in the future. And the next reason that we might use will or won't is if we want to make a promise. So we use it for promises. And the best example here is, for example, if you say, I will always love you. I will always love you. This is a promise about something that will happen in the future. And so for promises, we use will or won't. Next, We also use will and won't to talk about offers to help. Offers to help. And here we don't usually use the full word will. We usually use apostrophe LL, like I'll, I will, I'll. Like, for example, you're a gentleman and you see a lady carrying a heavy bag and you say, I'll carry that for you. I'll carry the bag. Right? This is, we're offering to help her with this bag. Or maybe someone is at your house and they say, oh, it's so cold. And you say, I'll turn up the temperature, right? Or I'll close the window. So this is an offer to help. And with offers to help, you will see that in many English textbooks and in many books that teach English, they don't say, I'll open the window. Instead, many books say, shall I open the window? Shall I open the window, right? So in many books, they use shall for this situation. Today, most people do not say shall. It sounds very old. It sounds like Shakespeare. It's very old English. And today people don't say that. People say, I'll open the window. Or if they want to ask a question, right? Because shall is like a question. Shall I? But if we want to ask a question, we can say should. Should I open the window? Should I close the window? And this can be like a question when we offer to help. But we can also just say, I'll close the window. Great. And the last reason why we use will and won't is to make instant decisions. Instant decisions, fast decisions. For example, you go to a restaurant and the waiter says, what would you like to eat? And you say, I'm thinking. Oh, I decided. I'll have a steak. I will have a steak, right? I just decided right now. Or maybe you and your friends need to do a project together. Maybe you're helping one of your friends move his things from one house to another house. And you say, okay, how can I help? And who's going to do which things, right? Which activities? Okay, you'll drive the car. I'll carry the furniture. You will get the drinks so everyone has water, for example, right? So we just decided right now. If we just decided right now, then we can use will and won't also. Great. So these are the 4 reasons why we use will and won't. Next is to be going to. To be going to. Sorry, let me answer a question from the chat on YouTube quickly. Beauty Notici asked a good question. She said, what if I say, will I open the window? Good question. And this is not correct. We should not say this. So let me explain why. So this is again about offers to help, right? Offers to help. We say, I'll open the window because it's about me. I make a decision and I offer to help, but it's not a question, right? When we say, shall I open the window? Or if we say, should I open the window? This is a question that I ask to another person. But if I ask, will I open the window? Then this is like a question about me, right? And the only person who knows the answer is me. So if I say, will I open the window? I'm speaking to myself. It's like I'm looking in the mirror, right? Like, will I open the window? I don't know. Will I open the window? Well, you tell me, will I open the window? Yes, I will open the window. Right? So this is why we cannot say, will I? This is why in general, if we ask, will I about something, if it's my decision, then we don't ask this, right? Maybe if you go to a hotel, you say, will I have breakfast with my room? Like when I pay for my room, will I have breakfast too? Will I get this, right? This is not my decision, it's the hotel's decision. But if I lie down in my bed and I ask, will I sleep? This is a strange question because it's my decision, right? It depends on me. Okay, so that's why when we're offering to help, we don't usually ask, will I help? Because it's my decision to help or not. Good question. Okay, so next, to be going to. We need to remember to be. This is a very important part of this form, this future form, right? To be. So we must always say, I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, they are. So I am going to, and then we have another verb, like I am going to teach you today, or he is going to meet me at the restaurant, right? So we need to include to be. If we don't include this, if we just say, I going to, this is not correct. And many people will be confused about this. They will not understand. We need to say, I am, the verb to be. So when do we use this? First of all, we can use this about predictions. We can use this about predictions. Yeah, we can use will about predictions, and we can use to be going to about predictions. We can use both of them about predictions. So what's the difference? There's not really a difference. There's not really a difference. If this prediction is very serious, then maybe we should use will. If it's not very serious, then we can use to be going to, but there's no rule about this. You can use both about serious things and things that are not serious. So for example, you could say in the year 2020, the world will end, or you could say tomorrow it will rain. You can say both of them. They're both correct. You can also say in the year 2020, the world is going to end. This is correct. You can also say tomorrow it is going to rain. They're all correct. So we can use both of these about predictions. But the really important thing about to be going to is using it about plans. This is the most important thing, and this is where most people make mistakes. Because we don't say will about plans. We don't. We say to be going to about plans. So, what are you going to do tomorrow? I am going to go for a walk, for example, right? If I asked about your plans, my question should be with going to. If I answer about my plans, my answer is with going to. So, most of what we talk about in the future is about a plan, right? Usually when we speak about the future, we speak about plans. And these other situations are just special things that happen sometimes. But, usually when we speak about the future, we speak about plans. So we use going to a lot. Great. Next, present simple and present continuous. With present continuous, let's start with present continuous. With present continuous, we usually speak about another kind of plan. We call it an arrangement. We speak about arrangements, and arrangements are really just plans. They're plans with other people. So we might say, instead of asking, what are you going to do this weekend? What are you going to do this weekend? We can also ask, what are you doing this weekend? What are you doing this weekend? And the person can say, I'm going for a walk this weekend, or I'm going to go for a walk this weekend, right? I'm traveling to Paris this weekend, or, oh, sorry, that's present continuous, right? This is my arrangement. I'm traveling to Paris this weekend, or we can say, I am going to travel to Paris this weekend. They're both correct. They're both correct. Great. And then when we use present simple, we usually use present simple about a timetable or a schedule, In American English, schedule. In British English, schedule. Timetable or a schedule. For example, when does the train arrive? Present simple. When does the train arrive? We know that this happens in the future. When does the train arrive? But we use present simple. The train arrives at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is in the future, and we use present simple. The train arrives at 11 o'clock. So for present continuous and for present simple, we always include some future time. We always include some phrase or time that tells us that this is the future, right? Because if I just tell you the train arrives, then this is present, right? This is just a usual thing. Every day the train arrives. But if I say something about the future, then we can understand that this is a timetable about the future. The train arrives tomorrow. The train arrives at 11. The train arrives in 2 days, for example. Excellent. So these are the general rules of how we speak about the future in English. So one more time, let's make sure that we remember the most important points. If you just want people to understand you, if you don't care about rules and you don't want to spend time being correct or sounding more natural, then will and won't are okay. You can just use will and everybody will understand you. Most people want to be more correct than that. So we have 4 situations when we use will. The world will end in 2020, prediction about the future. Promise, I will always love you. Offer to help. I'll open the window. Instant decision. I'll have a steak, for example, right? We use to be going to about predictions and plans, like in the year 2020, the world is going to end, or plans. I'm going to see a film at the cinema this weekend, right? And then we use present continuous about arrangements. For example, I'm seeing a film at the cinema this weekend, or present simple about a timetable. The film starts at 11. Andrew.
Yeah, I have a question. about complex example. For example, dialogue of two people. One of those people say, Steven, have a party tonight. Present simple. Yes, correct.
The student has a party.
Oh, I'm sorry. Steven has a party tonight.
Is this a timetable or is this an arrangement?
Good question.
I think it's an arrangement. So I would say the student is having a party.
Oh, okay, Heaven. Next thing, I should agree to go there or not agree. So it's first column, yes? I will go to party because it's instant decision. I will go or I won't go there.
Yes, you could do this. And usually with instant decisions, we use the short form I'll.
Okay, I'll go there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I want to invite someone else, then I can say I'm going to go this party.
I'm going to go to the party. Yeah, it's my plan.
Because it's not instant decision anymore, it's a plan.
Right.
So thank you. Thoughts in my head became okay. I understand everything.
Okay, let me continue with this example, this situation. So your friend invites you to a party. I'm having a party tomorrow. Will you come? Or we can say, are you going to come? Or we can say, are you coming? And the friend says, I don't know. And you say, there's going to be a lot of music. And you say, okay, I'll come. I just decided, right? Okay, I'll come. But right, so this means that he just decided. The thing that I told him right now made him decide. He made a decision because of this information, right? But maybe I said, are you coming? He says, yes, I'm coming. Then I think this is a very strong answer. Or maybe he says, I'm going to come. I'm going to come. All of these things are okay. And this is a good question because which future form is stronger, right? Which is stronger? This is usually the question that people ask. And many people think that will is the strongest. I will, it's a promise, right? So it's strong. But it's not really true because present is stronger. Present is stronger because it's like, hey, Mike, are you coming to my party? I'm coming. This is his truth right now. It's so true that it's present, right? This truth is already now. It's already a real situation. But if I say will, then this is still in the future, right? So nobody knows what will happen in the future. So yeah, sure, I'll come. This is like a promise, or maybe it's just an instant decision, but it's still in the future. So I think that using present continuous is really the strongest way to speak about the future because the future is already present. And clearly, 100% going to is the weakest. It's not as strong because going to is just a plan. And plans change all the time. And we have a very common phrase that people say, like, yes, I'm going to come to your party. And then the party happens and, the party starts at 10 o'clock and right now it's 10:30. I call Mike, hey, Mike, you said that you were going to come to my party. And Mike says, oh yeah, I was going to come, but now I am not going to come. And basically, my plans changed. And this is okay, because it's just going to. It's just a plan. So, yes, great question. And I think that a lot of people ask about this. Other questions? Anybody else? Anyone have a question? Gigi.
One question about present, future. If I say, do you work tomorrow? It's the same schedule. Do you go to the gym tomorrow? It's necessary. It's only present. I can use present in that case.
Right, but remember, do you work tomorrow is about the timetable.
Timetable, yeah.
But if you said, do you go to the cinema tomorrow? This is not, there's no time, there's
No time.
right.
Don't have a schedule. Yeah.
So it's probably it's an arrangement, it's a plan.
A plan. It's not, yeah.
So we can use present continuous. It's better to use present continuous. So yes, you could say, do you work tomorrow? Like,
because you work,
in
you
the
have
schedule.
that schedule. Yeah, yeah.
right.
I understand. Yes.
Or you could say, are you working tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Like this is the plan that you already have. Are you
Yes,
working
I
tomorrow?
understand.
Are you going to the cinema tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I understand.
Great. Colin?
Yes, I want to ask you, should we adapt the answer after the question? If you ask me, will you come to the party? And my answer should be yes, I will. Or if you ask me, are you going to come to the party? I would answer, yes, I'm going to come.
So for both of them, you can say just yes, right? But
Yes or no?
really, you can change. You can say any of them.
Okay.
So, are you going to come to the party tomorrow? I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'm going to come. Yes, I'll come to your party. Yes. Yes, I'll be there.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, all of them are correct. Great. All right. Any other questions right now before we continue? So I see some people asking, how can they join the lesson? You can go to chrisamericos.com, and also on YouTube, I've sent you the link. Great. So when we speak about the future, there's a lot of, it's usually about plans, right? It's usually about our plans for the future, but sometimes predictions and sometimes these other situations. So right now, let's talk about our plans. What are you going to do this weekend? Today's Friday, so it's almost time for the weekend, and maybe it's the end of Friday where some of you are, like where Manny is. So Manny, what are you going to do this weekend? Oh, where is she?
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to watching the movies.
Going to
this
watch?
weekend.
You're
I'm
going
going to watch. So I'm going to watch the movies this weekend.
Which movies are you going to watch?
The Chinese movies, Jackie Chan. Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Jackie Chan and
Yes.
so these are like karate movies, right?
No, I forgot the name.
Martial arts.
No, I forgot the name. No, not sure. Maybe he's a policeman, something. Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So you're going to watch movies this weekend?
Mhm.
All weekend?
All weekend, sorry.
Are you going to watch movies all weekend?
On weekend.
Yeah, all weekend?
On weekend, yeah.
Uh-huh. Just sit at home all day, Saturday, all day, Sunday, watch. Well, I guess with coronavirus, many people do this at the weekend, right?
Yes, but right now here in my country, it turned to normal. The cinema theater are open.
Okay, and are people wearing masks?
Yeah, they're wearing masks. Yes, it's
Good.
one of my accessory as well.
One of your what? Sorry?
Accessory.
Accessories. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yep, every beautiful woman needs a beautiful mask.
Yes, they have can matching their clothes. Yes, their dress. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, great. Excellent. So what about you, Aisha? What are you doing this weekend? What are your plans this weekend?
Because there are lockdown during the Friday and the Saturday, it is the government don't allow for anybody to go out of the home. So we forced to stay on home.
Stay at
So,
home?
yes, stay at home because the government need that. It is for Friday and Saturday. So I decided to join a lesson in Chris Americos as much as I can do, and to study, review my lecture, what I have last week.
Great. Great. Andrew, what about you? What are you going to do this weekend?
I'm going to walk with my children. Go to park and walk there.
Go to a park?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll work on the computer in the park and they'll run
No,
around?
no. I going to walk in the park with my children, and I going to how to say, strolling there.
To go for a walk in the park.
Yes.
To walk in the park, not to work in the park.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, I understand. All weekend, lots of just walking and walking and walking.
It's my plan, but of course I have different plans. For example, sleep as much as possible because it's a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sleep.
You're going to sleep.
Yes, because it's weekend and I can do that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. During the weekend, many people like to sleep in. To sleep in, it means to sleep longer than usual. Like sometimes if we work during the week and then we don't work on Saturday, then maybe we sleep in on Saturday. It means to stay in our bed longer, right? To sleep longer, to sleep in. Yeah. Great. I see some questions here about in the chat on YouTube about joining. So the link is right there in the chat. And Tanya is answering everyone. And I also see someone from Argentina saying that they're interested in joining. So if you speak Spanish, you can also go to our Spanish website, which is wespeakenglish.com. Great. All right. So let's talk to Colin. Colin, what are your plans for this weekend? What are you going to do this weekend?
Well, for me, it's very simple. My wife had a contact with a person infected with corona, and we have to stay home until she gets the results of the test.
Mm-hmm. Wait
So
for the
my
results of the
weekend is
test.
reserved for English. Yes. So my English is my weekend is reserved for English lessons here and for Netflix, of course.
Great. Yeah, it's you get to play the waiting game.
Yes.
This is what we call the waiting game. Play the waiting game.
Yes.
It's because everybody hates waiting, so to make it more fun, we call it a game.
Yes. Yes. It's quite difficult when you know that you have to stay at home. When it's not necessary, it's simple to stay at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And Gigi, what about you? What are you going to do this weekend?
Yeah, because I am having right now an unexpected holiday. After this lesson, we are going to the beach because and stay there till tomorrow. And on Sunday, I will make one barbecue because my friend is turning 50, and
Wow.
you are make one barbecue. Yes.
Wow. Great. Great. So lots of different plans. Some people are staying in, just staying at home. Some people are going out and stay in or go out. But both of these plans, they sound fun. And I think today, because there are so many useful resources on the internet, we can still do a lot of interesting things when we stay home, right? We can still learn a lot, even if we stay inside. Great. Okay, so let's talk about predictions, things that we think are going to happen in the future, or things that we think will happen in the future. For example, very soon there is going to be a presidential election in the United States, and many people are making predictions about this situation, because usually when this happens, the United States dollar will drop a little bit every time that there's a presidential election. It will become less valuable for some period of time. And when the United States dollar becomes less valuable, many other currencies, other types of money in the world also become less valuable because they're connected to the United States dollar. And so many people are predicting that that after this election, many bad things or good things might happen. And so there are a lot of predictions right now in the United States about this. But maybe you have some other predictions. Many people are making predictions about coronavirus, about when people can stop wearing masks, about when people will be able to go outside freely, and when life will go back to normal. So, these are very serious predictions, but maybe you have some other predictions. There's also a lot of predictions about climate change, that the world is getting warmer and that weather is changing, that there are more storms now. And so we have a lot of predictions in our world right now. So I will let you choose one of these topics and tell us about your predictions, about what you think will happen, or you can predict something different that's not so serious, maybe. But let's think about this. What is going to happen in the near future? What is going to happen in the near future, in the next 1, 2, 3 years? Manny, you're our Nostradamus. Why don't you tell us what's going to happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I look out at the window. I can see the back cloud. Yes. So I think it's going to land in the next 30 minutes.
It's going to rain in the next 30 minutes in Thailand?
Yes. Yes.
Interesting. So there's a storm cloud outside.
Yeah. And have the thunderstorm. Yeah.
Thunderstorm.
Yeah. Warning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right now, let's see, it's the middle of October. Is this the rainy season in Thailand?
Yeah. Right now is the rainy season. Yes.
Uh-huh. So it's probably a very good prediction.
Yes.
Great. Gigi, what about you? What predictions do you have for us?
In my opinion, I'm thinking about that. People in general are going to change their habits, their manner after coronavirus, and change as well their mindset. Because I think there are one reason for everything in our life, and maybe that pandemic situation stay until teach us something, and I think it's and it for the in the good way, of course, because you right now you have a lot of bad things, bad behaviors, and maybe we are in lockdown, and we change a lot of I think in our mind. I think it's the good side, because everything have bad and the good side. Yeah,
Everything has a good and bad side.
Yes, it's my wish, and it's my wish for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you think that people's habits will change, their mannerisms,
of course,
their mentality?
It's not 100%, but if 20% change something, it's great. I think.
Mm-hmm.
If you if everyone look more for the children or the animals or the planet, about pollution, think more about life instead of think about get money all the time, maybe.
Yeah.
That's my prediction, my wishes for future.
Great. Okay, Aisha, what about you? What are your predictions?
Well, as Gigi said, I think there are some career going to disappear, because schools now and university they teach online, and I think it's one teacher can teach a lot of students, and after that there are no one need to be a teacher. So this career I think disappear, and I think women they will prefer to working from their home rather than go to the company or to the workplace to have more than one benefit, to looking for their children, and to, having to pay a lot of money, extra money for the schools or for nursery, and to save some money, because they don't need to use the public transport or even their own cars. So before that, everyone don't need, but after trying this, because we have near 1 year trying to work and learning online, so I think some of them, they prefer to do that. Also, the student end up at the first, they are afraid to have lessons online. But after that, I see a lot of students, they need to have the lesson online rather than I wake up early and I need to catch bus and anything like that. I can save this time for more sleeping, and I can join the lesson at the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I think it's a really important thing that, yeah, women can look after their children and work from home. And
Yeah,
this is much easier to balance, because in the past, if they need to go to an office, pay for transportation, pay for the babysitter or school, and
yeah.
that's a good point. Great. Okay, Colleen, what about you? What are your predictions?
Now, more and more countries worry about climate change, and I've seen that appeared more and more electrical cars, and people give up at the traditional cars with diesel or gasoline. And I asked myself about the future of oil industry, where I work. But I think electrical car will be successful, but only for short distances. So people will use them only in the cities, but the people will continue to use traditional cars for long distances, especially.
Because electric cars can only go short distances, and then you need to change the battery.
They have low autonomy.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Andrew has asked a question here. Is it natural to use passive voice when we're making predictions? Yeah, we can use active and passive voice. So for example, we could say, many people will buy electric cars, or we could say, many electric cars will be bought. And this is fine. We can use both active or passive voice for this. So Andrew, what are your predictions for the near future?
Actually, speakers who speak before me say everything. Okay, businesses will move online because it's better to have anything online. It's more okay. It's just better. It's have some pros, and we will find new power source in the future, because the oil is ending, and we need to change oil to something. For example, electric cars, but we need power source for these cars, and we will find this power source. So I think we will live in a better world in the future. It's my prediction.
A world without oil?
But with something else.
Yeah. So Oil, you mean in general, different fossil fuels,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Interesting. Great. So yeah, so there's a lot of predictions in today's world. We can see that lots of things are changing, and that very soon things will be different. That probably for our children, the world will be much different than the world that we have grown up in. And this is scary, and it's very interesting at the same time, I think. So great. Are there any other questions today from anyone who is here? Maybe about this topic or maybe about something else? Okay, if there's no other questions, then our next lesson is on Monday at 8 a.m. New York time. We will be live on Facebook in the group English with Chris Americos. And of course, everybody who's watching on YouTube today, the next YouTube lesson will be on Friday in 1 week, 8 a.m. New York time. Our topic for Monday on Facebook is personality. And it's a really difficult topic because there's a lot of vocabulary. There's a lot of new words that we'll talk about. So I hope to see everybody on Monday at 8 a.m. New York time on Facebook or right here live from chrisamericos.com. Thank you to Colin, Andrew, Gigi, Aisha, and Manny for joining us today. And I will see everybody next time. Have a great weekend.